guys, it's Fatima C. Oliver here, transformational speaker and consultant. I want to talk to you today about something that I discovered about myself. Uh-oh. I was talking to somebody today and they said something kind of that would have triggered me back in the day. And I realized that I actually was able to hold my tongue instead of telling them in different ways, however way they wanted it, how wrong they were. But instead, I was able to sit back and really take in the fact that I had grown a bit and that I had learned how not everything needs to be said. And it took me a long time to learn that, by the way. It really did take me a long time to learn that. But I was really, really proud of myself that I didn't take the bait and go down that path to where I would have to give an apology later or feel horrible later about the things that I said because you definitely can't get words back. I was just really grateful for how far God has brought me, knowing that I still have a ways to go. A lot of us, we definitely pick up generational habits. I really would venture to say all of us do. It just has to do with the dynamic of our family and basically how we were raised, right? I have friends who say that when I get really, really comfortable in a conversation, that I sound very, very country, like I'm straight up from the South. And I'm from Vegas. Okay. Born and raised from Las Vegas. All right. But my family, they're all from the South. And even though I was born in Vegas, my aunties, uncles, mom and them, all of them, play cousins, they was from the South. And so when I get comfortable, all that slang, just that different way to say your words just kind of come out of me. I don't even know where it's coming from. My husband said when we moved to Charlotte, that is right where I needed to be because I just got so comfortable and sounded like I was straight up a Carolinian. I still claim that, by the way. Okay. So there are awesome things that we can pick up from our families that we would look at as generational habits or attitudes. For example, with my family, I was always taught to push my chair in, no matter where I was at, push my chair in when I get up from the table. Give a strong handshake. I mean, break the hand if you can, to let them know that you have good character. Look at somebody straight in the eyes when you're speaking to them. Don't show fear because we ain't no punks. That's my family saying. We ain't no punks. So look them straight in the eyes and say what you mean and mean what you say. Your no means no, your yes means yes, and you do what you say you're going to do. Those are the things that I got from my family. And also, there are no strangers. Make everybody feel like they family. And my son would even say that I go to those lengths extremely. He always says, "You made a new friend again." I can't help it. I love people. But then there are those things that may not be so great that we pick up from our families, those generational habits. And one of those for me, which I know was meant in a positive way, I definitely believe it, it was to be a disruptor. In other words, when I come in the room, you're going to know that I'm there. Okay. If you don't like it, you can get up and leave. If you sitting and you got a problem and I know you got a problem, I'm going to come and sit right in the middle of you, talk to you and everything. You're going to talk to me. Oh, you think you're going to ignore me? You think you're going to ignore me? Oh, I'm that one that will talk to you every single day until you bend and say, "Good morning." I'm definitely that person. Trust me, I have witnesses that would attest to it. But the problem with that is that as much confidence as that gave me, being able to not be ran away from a situation, no matter how intimidated it felt for me, I also would take that attitude into my home and I became a disruptor in my home. So I would be the more aggressive one in the home. I would be the one that had to have my way no matter what in my home. I would be the one that would nitpick and nitpick until I got somebody to turn in my favor in my home. Basically, I was trying every day, all night to be the all be all in my home. And God really had to check me on that and showed me that if I continued to be that way, that I was going to be by myself. Okay. Okay. My husband wasn't going to put up with that much longer. And I really had to have a self reflective kind of a checking. I like to call it a come to Jesus moment because I really got checked. And it was a matter of looking at myself in the mirror. I talk about that a lot in my videos as far as facing the hard truths about yourself and looking at yourself in the mirror. And that issue was one of the things that looked back at me out of the mirror. And I really had to try to figure out where the heck I got that from. Why do I have to be that way? Why do I have to react in that way? Why do I have to set the temperature in my home in that way? And I had to vow to change my disposition, change my attitude, change my behavior. Sure, being a disruptor and being able to go into an interview and say, hey, I don't know who else you've been talking to, but I am the one. Being able to have that confidence as I roll back my shoulders and lift my head up and look at the person straight in the eye. And of course, don't forget that strong handshake. That is wonderful. But when it comes down to the dynamic in my home where my husband is the king of my home and I'm supposed to be the queen of my home, and my children get to see what a relationship looks like by how we interact as husband and wife and as friends and as counterparts and sometimes as people that disagree with each other. How do they view that? They're viewing it through us. And so I had to take a look at that and bow down gracefully to how my home was supposed to be ran versus how I was running it. It definitely was a learning process for me. It did not happen overnight, but I wanted my marriage more. I wanted a healthy relationship more. I wanted my kids to be proud of their parents more than I wanted to be right. And I think that's something that we all have to look at in our own atmospheres. How badly do we want to be right? Or how badly do we want healthiness in our home? You are destined for greatness. You are in a season of much favor and grace, but you have to align yourself in a position to where you'll be ready to receive it. Have you ever heard the saying, stay ready so you ain't got to get ready? That's my husband's favorite saying. I took it from him, but it's true. Stay ready so you don't have to get ready. That's at a job. That's when you're preparing. You know where you want to go professionally, but it's also when you're trying to prepare for that person to come into your life to help enhance your life. You want to prepare yourself, right? It's also when you're trying to prepare for what God has for you, the purpose God has for you. You need to prepare your mind, your body, your emotions, your attitude, your behavior, and your actions. All of those need to be aligned up so that when God is ready to use you, when he is ready to bring magnificence into your space, when he is ready to bring awesome blessings and opportunities into your space, you're ready to receive them. As people in relationships, it is our due diligence to set the temperature in our home. We want to be able to have a peaceful home, a place where when people come there, they know that they can relax. If they've been tense all day, they know that when they walk into your home, they're walking in a home where there is peace and where there is comfort and where there is no judgment and where there is serious connection with the spiritual world. That's the type of home that we all want, right? But it takes work. And so I'm continuing to do that work. And I encourage you to continue to do that work. Set the temperature in your home. Be the peace that your man comes home to. Be the peace that your wife comes home to after a hard day of work. Be that peace. Be the peace that your children need. So when something crazy is happening in their little lives and they look at it as a serious situation, that they're not intimidated to speak to you. Be that peace. Again, my name is Fatima C. Oliver, and you can definitely find me on my website, fatimac.com. I also have an amazing, I said amazing virtual event that's coming up. It's called Crushing the Elephants. And I mean that. You know how we be walking around those elephants? We say, oh, yeah, there's an elephant in the room. We ain't going to talk about it because we don't want to make such and such mad, or we don't want to offend anybody, or we don't even want to deal with ourselves in that space. So we just don't discuss it. Well, I'm helping you to find healthy ways to have those tough conversations. Okay, approaching the fear of confrontation. That's what we're discussing. I really hope to see you in the room. It's a virtual event. Again, you can go to my website. It's fatimac.com. You can also find it on social media to be able to register. I hope to see you there. And until then, you guys be well.